The third episode of The Bad Batch Season 2 has dropped. Episode 3, titled The Solidarity Clone, took a step away from Clone Force 99's larger story in order to shift focus over to Crosshair. The former Bad Batch marksman is back with the Empire and undergoes a mission with none other than Commander Cody. It's certainly a darker one in tone and provides a nice twist in the end regarding Cody's future. There's plenty to break down today, so let's get going. Spoilers are ahead. The Solidarity Clone starts on the planet Desix, a former separatist world that the Empire is trying to occupy. It's a very orange planet and seems to be home to many farmers, as well as a large installation. An Imperial shuttle arrives, and it walks a governor accompanied by several TK troopers. These are the Empire's earliest stormtroopers, as in conscripted human recruits instead of clones. Their armor design is based on Ralph McQuarrie concept art for the original trilogy, a nice nod as a bit of a bridge between Phase 2 clone armor and the later stormtroopers. The current governess of the planet, Ames, attempts to claim that Desix is outside of Imperial jurisdiction and they've requested their independence. But her would-be Imperial replacement simply responds with a cold, "Your request has been received, reviewed, and as you can see, rejected." Still, Ames does not give and reveals she has an army of battle droids at her disposal, which surround the Imperial officer and his TK troopers. We then jump over to Coruscant, where we're reunited with Crosshair, who's just woken up and heads to a mess hall. That's when he's called to Vice Admiral Rampart's office, who we know last week learned that the Bad Batch are still alive, meaning Crosshair likely lied to him. We learn that Crosshair was left stranded for 32 rotations after the destruction of Kamino in the Bad Batch Season 1 finale after he refused to rejoin Clone Force 99. Crosshair is assigned by Rampart to fight the insurgents and rescue the Imperial governor on Desix in our opening scene. Rampart has also stripped Crosshair of his rank of commander, and he'll now report to CC-2224, aka our boy, Commander Cody. This fan-favorite clone was one of only two, alongside Oddball, to actually be named in Revenge of the Sith. Cody was Obi-Wan's second in command and friend, and led the 212th Attack Battalion. Cody was the first clone to execute Order 66 and attempt to kill his Jedi General. Crosshair meets Cody at the First Battle Memorial, a commemorative monument in honor to the many clones who died during the First Battle of the Clone Wars on Geonosis in Attack of the Clones. The monument was constructed on an enormous slab of Geonosian rock, and the wall was engraved with the designations of the fallen clones. It was located on the outside plaza of the Republic Center for military operations, and we saw it during the Ahsoka Tano arc late in the Clone Wars. While talking to Crosshair about the rest of the Bad Batch going rogue, Commander Cody reveals that there are several clones who are doing the same thing and questioning Order 66. We saw this with Captain Hauser and his men last season, a group of clones I really hope we get to see by the Bad Batch Season 2's end. The Clone Wars revealed that Order 66 was built into the clone's brain through an inhibitor chip, and they were forced to kill the Jedi rather than willingly make that decision. The revelation that the clones were not fully conscious and aware of Order 66 lets the Bad Batch explore their inner conflict as they realize what they did and come to terms with the fact that they had absolutely no choice in the matter. Not to mention how quickly the Empire seems to be pushing the clones aside in favor of their new conscripted troopers. The Solidarity Clone feels like a cool throwback episode to the Clone Wars. We jump into a stealth mission with lots of exciting action as Cody, Crosshair, and a team of clones attempt to rescue the Imperial officer. It feels good to get a classic clone trooper mission. Cody and Crosshair's team arrives at Desix aboard an Imperial shuttle as the clone pilot requests landing permission. They're going in disguised as a team sent to negotiate for his release. Governor Ames promises to free the Imperial officer once the Empire accepts her terms. When he protests that the Empire will not, she says that she is aware the so-called diplomatic shuttle is a strike team. Ames says that Count Dooku was right, and the Republic was corrupt and would collapse, only to become something worse, the Galactic Empire. The Imperial reminds her that the Separatists lost the Clone Wars, and she'll lose this conflict as well. A tactical droid spots the inbound shuttle and sends out a team of battle droids armed with rocket launchers who fire a barrage at the inbound ship. This is followed up by a blast from a Separatist AAT that sends the shuttle into a crash landing. Half of the strike team are too injured to continue, but Cody, Crosshair, and a small team of clones continue on foot. Crosshair draws the tank's fire as the others move in. The expert marksman makes his first of a few crazy trick shots in this episode, shooting directly down the barrel of the AAT and neutralizing it. The strike team divides into two groups as they press their attack into the facility. Crosshair recognizes the droid's attack patterns and determines there must be a tactical droid giving orders. One thing this episode does well for the droids is making the droidicas much more intimidating. Though they are stronger than battle droids, we've mostly seen them fight Jedi throughout the prequel films, who can easily cut through their shields and destroy them. But here, against clones, they are a lot tougher to take down. We hear them before we ever see them, giving a feeling of creeping death and impending doom. The droidicas can't stop the team, however, as they employ some droid poppers and press on. One highlight saw them stick a grenade to a B-1 battle droid before shooting it and allowing it to slowly fall through a droidica's shield before detonating. Crosshair spots the tactical droid in the tower, but can't get a clear line of sight. Cody and Crosshair make it to a spiraling staircase, which leads up to the tower and their target. They face off with some BX series commando droids, improved and far more effective droids than your standard B1s. Crosshair uses some reflective pucks to bank shots around the staircase, much like in Clone Wars when he took out an entire hallway of droids with a singular shot. The droids almost get the better of them for a few moments before Cody pulls out a knife and destroys a droid, then throwing it into the head of one that has Crosshair by the throat. Crosshair makes one last insane shot as Cody throws a reflective puck and he banks it in mid-air to take down the last few commandos and the tactical droid. The two clones find Imperial Governor Groton in the hands of Ames with a blaster to his head. Cody tells her that they are not the enemy and the Empire seeks to reestablish peace. Ames once actually believed in peace, so much so that she helped Mina Bonteri put forth a treaty to end the war, signed by both Republic and Separatist senators. We saw this in an arc of the Clone Wars. Bonteri was a friend of Padme Amidala's, and the two actually came fairly close to putting peace talks into motion before Dooku ordered a terrorist attack on Coruscant. When she talks about the treaty that nearly ended the war, it makes Cody take a pause. He puts down his weapons, removes his helmet, and says peace is an option now. Cody tells her they both lived through one war, let's not start another. Ames lets Groton go, and he immediately orders Cody to shoot her. He hesitates, but Crosshair doesn't, and pulls the trigger. Her last words being, so much for peace. Groton orders her body be placed in the streets as a message to others. As Crosshair and Cody leave, large amounts of TK troopers arrive on Desix. Back on Coruscant, Cody confronts Crosshair about the mission and asks whether they're truly making the galaxy a better place. Crosshair doesn't care. He's just a soldier following orders. Cody disagrees. What makes the clones different from battle droids is their capacity to make decisions, and they have to live with them. Crosshair has to live with the decision he made to join the Empire and leave the Bad Batch, whereas Commander Cody has to live with the fact that he went through with Order 66, inhibitor chip or not. He ordered the shot at his Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi, whom he fought alongside for years. Bear in mind, Cody has no idea that Obi-Wan survived, believing fully that he killed him in that moment on Utapau. The regret of Order 66 and everything he's done since has got to be eating away at Commander Cody. The next day, Rampart assigns Crosshair another mission, but this time, Commander Cody will not be joining him. It turns out Cody has also gone AWOL and has left the Empire. Crosshair will now report to CC 1226. Rampart then makes an observation that a lot of clones Crosshair seems to work closely with go AWOL, but will Crosshair join them by the season's end? We'll find out. This episode was incredibly dark in comparison to last week's premiere, but it was quite enjoyable to catch up with Crosshair and see a side of the early Empire that we really never have. For the longest time, we also had no idea what happened to Commander Cody in canon after Order 66. He had a cancelled cameo in the Kenobi series where he would have watched a young Luke Skywalker as Obi-Wan rescued Leia. In Legends material, Cody remained with the Empire and went on to train recruited stormtroopers who he found to be far inferior to clone troopers. But what could be next for Commander Cody? Will he seek out the Bad Batch even though he has absolutely no idea they're still alive? Will we see him alongside Rex, Hauser, Gregor, Wolf, or any other clone who deserted the Empire? Drop your theories down below. One thing to note is that Cody is not alongside Rex by the time of Star Wars Rebels, so maybe a heroic sacrifice is coming for the former leader of the 212th Attack Battalion. That does it for today's video, Red Squadron. If you did enjoy, make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you are new. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you. Red 5, standing by.